Gildy here. I'm going to do a nice little short one here in front of the Ukrainia Hotel in Sevastopol. Truth's coming out a little bit at a time. People have been lying kind of have to step back and change their story and act like they just discovered something, what we've been saying for a long time, but that's okay. I don't have to have credit for stuff. As long as it comes out, it'll come out. It takes too much energy to keep those lies going. I got a lovely little bit of espresso here. I'm waiting for it to cool off. It's so hot. I'll try it. Just say it. Got to open this show properly. That's pretty good. Zing! Yeah, I'm going to be wired now. Anyway, provocations. There's provocations being staged, and there's people spinning them, and there's people changing sides. There's talking heads. Most of what you get in mainstream, and that includes some their mainstream sites, websites even, that have been around for a long time, that have personalities that have some weight. Some of them even graduated to television. I was reminiscing here, remembering something that happened a long time ago back, I think before Maiden even, this would have been before 2014. There's a group called, all you delicate people there, plug your ears, because I'm going to say vulgar words, because that's what their name is. They're called Pussy Riot. What's Pussy Riot? Well, it appeals to mokes and white knights and gamma boys. It's brilliant marketing if you're really, completely morally scrofulous and want to do stuff like that. There's this guy, you look at his name and his face, and I don't know, I don't remember. I know he's in New York, but I'm kind of guessing he lives in Williamsport, Brooklyn. Yeah, and he's an organizer, an international provocateur. He got this thing together where he got a bunch of damaged women. No, I don't even want to say that, damaged women. You got a bunch of really treacherous, morally scrofulous women. The kind you find a lot of on Ukrainian bride sites and stuff like that. People are damaged. Yeah, maybe they were molested when they were little. Maybe they grew up in a horrible, horrible environment and all that. Well, my mom was brought out in the woods, out in the middle of nowhere, and her mother ran off with the youngest daughter, took her little sister and left. Her dad was murdered. She had a pretty hard time. She had a pretty traumatic life. She put herself through school by working as a maid in people's houses, and then she put herself through college doing that, instead of going to work for some penguin in New York, doing horrible things for money. My dad, he told stories about how his dad was a socialist, basically, or a wobbly proto-socialist. Yeah, he used to get drunk and beat the kids. Nice. My parents had awful, horrible childhoods, but they were happy, and they grew up to be outstanding people. They were great. They were great people. So I just don't buy that stuff. So, I'll cut people some slack if they came from some horrifying background. But these women are just, like all, you got all these white knights that want to rescue the sporting women. And they're always attracted to that stuff. And that's the kind of guys that buy into this stuff. Why, they're making a political statement. They're expressing their freedom of thought. Yeah, you're right. It's a tool, and you're a tool. Their minder is a pimp, really. I mean, he might not farm them out for physical activity, but he's doing something a lot worse, actually. Anyway, this clown got these girls. He's got them doing stuff all over the place. You don't hear about them much anymore. Wow, it's kind of waned. Last I heard of them, they went to Sochi during the Olympics. Yeah, it was before 2014. Because in 2014 they were at Sochi. They were going to set up a protest with all their cool hipster guys with their, helping them, their roadies, and they're setting up someplace, and the Cossacks showed up. Brilliant. Cossacks are great. I love them. That video went viral because the Cossacks saw what they were doing, and they carry whips. They're expert horsemen. My daughters went to a Cossack event not far from here where they teach kids horsemanship and woodcraft and marksmanship. My daughter was taught to shoot. She was like 11 then. Rifles and ride horses by Cossacks. They don't take them into their program because they only let men do that, but they have a little LARP and teach girls how. This is a great place to live. When my son's old enough, yeah, I'm going to encourage that. Anyway, the Cossacks showed up. They're kind of like a semi-private police force, and they saw what they were doing, and they pulled their whips out, and they just started whipping the crap out of them. Whips hurt, but it's not permanent. I'd rather be whipped than pepper sprayed, but they whipped them a little bit and scolded them and ran them off. And of course they put the video in there. Look what they did to us. And 99.9% of the comments were, "This is great. This is the best video I ever saw. You got what you deserve." God bless the Cossacks. I don't think they expected that sort of reaction. That's probably why you don't hear much about them anymore. Anyway, back when they were in their element and really doing their thing, before that happened, they went to a church, an Orthodox church in Moscow, and they went up on the stage in the holy place and started doing some kind of weird stuff. They usually take their clothes off and write slogans on themselves. Yeah, they're just exhibitionists, perverts, and only perverts would like them. Okay, make note of that, what I said. Only perverts would really support these people for the wrong reasons. Anyway, they desecrated a church, and they were arrested by the police, and they were taken to jail, and they had a court date, and they went to the court, and I might have to look into that. They have a court system modeled after the Western ones in Russia. Okay, they went to court, and they either had a jury or a judge, may have been their choice, and they looked at the evidence and they convicted them of doing something violating a law, and convicted them. They sentenced them to 2 years in jail. Okay, that was in the news in America, and the spin was, "Oh, these poor girls are just expressing their political thoughts, and evil dictator Putin put them in jail for 2 years." Tucker Carlson. He's on Fox News now. Well, back then, I don't think he was even very famous then. He had a blog called The Daily Caller, and I was one of the many places that I went to the commentariat on and put my stuff in. And now, I don't know how big he was, how his operation worked, if he had people that were doing his work for him, but there was only one subject going around at that time. When I went on there was one topic, and Tucker was commenting, and he's saying in all capital letters that the dictator Putin put these poor girls away for 2 years, and a bunch of exclamation points behind it. Well, I engaged, and I pointed out that they were violating the law. They were arrested by the police under the law, under a specific law. They were brought before a jury or a judge and convicted and sentenced according to law. Putin didn't have anything to do with it. And he typed back, all capital letters, "The dictator Putin ruined these girls' lives. 2 years." Oh, okay. I couldn't see him because we're typing, right? But I know now, watching Fox News, his mannerisms, he probably, if it was him and not one of his minions, he has minions, or somebody working for him doing it, whoever it was, wasn't very smart. If it was him, then he's not very smart. He just kept going back to the talking points. One set of talking points. He didn't engage on any of my points. And, he's probably going, he does that mouth and eye thing. He does that, you drop the head and drop the jaw and narrow the eyes. That's junior high school speak for the fat kid just sat down at the cool kids table. You gonna clutch your pearls over that, Tucky? Anyway, he kept typing back, 2 years! A whole row of exclamation marks. And I said, what had happened if they went into a mosque at Ridda and done that? He comes back, 2 years! I don't remember what all. I tried several arguments on him. I'm doing this from memory, but I don't think I thought of it until after the engagement was over. But it's the same concept. What have they done? You know the answer to this. You can extrapolate from what was going on. Is it what would happen if they went into Williamsport, Brooklyn, and did it in a synagogue? What would you be saying then, Tucky? Huh? These horrible women, these horrible skanks are anti-Semites. Moral outrage, like sympathy, when applied selectively, is just the worst kind of hypocrisy. These people are a joke. That's why they're a joke, and it's being exposed. And I encourage you people to expose it too. Tucker Carlson does some pretty good things. I mean, I like some of his insights and his pieces. And he's done nothing whatsoever to convince me that he's very bright. My opinion was formed of him a long time ago in our engagement on the Daily Caller. If it was even him. If it wasn't him, it's not somebody under his command. So it doesn't matter. Somebody that didn't have brains or imagination enough to come up with a good argument or a good countermeasure to my arguments. Except all capitals, all a row of exclamation points, pearl clutching over these poor girls. Okay, remember what I said when we started about what kind of people are the white knights that go to defend these kind of women? Yeah, it's kind of like that. Well, you know, a lot of them are your major media characters. That needs to change. A lot of them get your money from corporations. You pay your cable bill and you buy corporate products. Yeah, those kind of people. I need a haircut. Tucker Carlson is no different than Rachel Maddow. Like and Herman Melville, Starbuck, and who's the other guy? The other first mate, the first mate and the other guy in Moby Dick. They're nothing but opposite poles of the same beast. One was an animal; he was just a horrible satanic monster, and the other one was a very good man. He was very, very righteous and apparently virtuous. And they ended up pretty much making the same effect. Because the other guy's righteousness was just phony. It was all for show. He said, you're nothing, I think it was Captain Ahab said that. You're nothing but two opposite poles of the same beast. I haven't read it in years, I'm going from memory. Rachel Maddow and Tucker Carlson are nothing but opposite poles of the same beast. Actually, Tucker's just kind of a more feminine version of Rachel Maddow. Or, you know, the opposite could be said. Rachel Maddow is a more masculine Tucker Carlson. Yeah, I'm breaking his chops because he deserves it. But I will give credit where credit's due. He has done some pretty good stuff, but it's all controlled. And is he doing it? Somebody's feeding him stuff? He's got talking points? I think so. The people on RT even have talking points, and they'll only go so far with the truth. Know that for a fact. I know people that work there, and you know, I hear things. I knew it anyway. I figured out when they put Ed Schultz and Larry King on the staff. That was, yeah. Were they there to be the minders? Media is really awful. It's why you need to support people, little people in your community. Not necessarily me, although I really appreciate it. But little people that you know, people that speak to you and do something for you. You know, don't buy Disney and Netflix. Don't give them your money. Give people like that a tip. I mean, every little bit helps. We're gonna win. I see how there's people panicking. We're losing the propaganda war because of the quantity, and the craziness. It's everywhere. And the money behind it doesn't matter. I'd pick quality over quantity. It's going to win every time. those that have all this crazy stuff and yet they have huge followings and they get all kinds of money, well, the money is irrelevant. These people are the kings of their own little dung heaps. A riotous dung heap, perhaps, but it's a dung heap. You look at the comments after some of these people and you see what kind of people are following them. God. You remember the little story I told you about being in the orientation for KBR or in a room with 650 people and a stupid speaker gets up there, an incompetent speaker, and it just turns into a riot. All the stupid people are arguing and asking stupid questions and wanting attention, and an intelligent man gets up there and speaks. It suppresses it. They're all just sitting there thinking their own stupid little thoughts and keeping their mouth shut, and life is sweet. That's the way society is. When you put intelligent, competent, fearless people in the public forum, the stupidity all just kind of disappears. It's still there, but it's suppressed. It's quiet. These dung heap kings with their riotous dung heaps, well, it's all going to be quenched eventually. They want somebody competent, somebody that's not afraid to speak out, to step up. They're trying like hell to suppress that, but it can't be suppressed. Anyway, just trying to encourage you. It's going to happen, and it's not going to be somebody like Tucker Carlson or Trump. These guys are phonies. They're criminals. Just like all these, they're working for criminals. There's people that damn near literally worship Trump. Think he's the answer. He's not the answer. He represents a faction that may be multipolar, which is good to endorse when the opposite is true of the competition. Yeah, there's a lion and a tiger fighting to eat you. Well, you need to help the underdog, whichever one's losing. But then again, it's more complicated than that. I'll get into that later. Chimes. I can't tell if it's a speaker or it's real. Oh, it's the clock. Yeah, okay. I don't know if I can get this. I can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, wee little clock up there. It's about 10 foot square. It's 12:30. I need to get going. Well, I hope you got something from this. I need to go make one for Geopolitical George, my other channel. You need to get started on that, instructions and the left-right paradigm for starters in political nomenclature and ideology. Those things are important. You need to know where these people's coming from, and you got to know where you stand too. It helps. Anyway, Uncle Bildy signing out.